everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Anupama. I'm the product marketer at Frappe. And yes, welcome to our webinar, which is going to be around Frappe LMS, our friendly and completely open source learning management system. So right now we have Jannat with us here today, and she's been with Frappe since September 2020, and now she's like properly taking care of Frappe LMS and is the product owner of Frappe LMS. She's the one who's going to take the lead in walking you through all the aspects of our LMS tool and talk about more interesting stuffs along the way. So I feel this is going to be a good opportunity to see Frappe LMS feature and recent improvements that came along in action and understand how it could help you elevate your teaching and learning experience. So yeah, before going forward, few pointers again. Ensure that your name and surname is reflecting on your Zoom accounts so that it is easier for us to communicate in a smoother way. Secondly, if you're using a Zoom desktop application, upgrade it to the latest version beforehand so that you could participate in the interactive polls. There'd be polls coming along the way. We would love to get some answers, so you could be entirely honest with that. And if there are any questions in your mind, just drop it in the Q&A section. We will definitely answer them. So yeah, now over to you, Jannat. Let's begin.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Anupama, for the introduction. I'll share my screen now. I think Anupama has already said enough about me. I'm an engineer at Frappe, and I've been working here for more than 2 years now. And I'm the product owner of the Frappe LMS app. And in today's webinar, I'll be taking you through the functionalities and features of the app. Let me start by giving a very brief introduction about the app. Some of you might already be aware of it. We started with this app because of an initiative by FOSS United called MonSchool. FOSS United wanted to use MonSchool as a medium to teach programming to students in an easy and fun way. And we've been associated with FOSS United from the very beginning, doing our part, helping in whatever way we can. And we were interested in this initiative and we started helping them out with it. The first one was looking for a platform. We looked online for learning management systems and came across all of the popular options that are available in the market, Moodle, OpenEdX, etc. We checked those out, but none of them were completely fitting what we wanted. Also, the UI seemed very overcrowded. The UX could certainly have been better. And we thought, why not we create our own LMS? There were two things that helped us make this decision. One was that we wanted to do it because we have a knack for creating new products. And the other was that we have a very powerful web framework that ensures that we can easily do it. And that framework is called the Frappe framework. So we thought, why not? And that led us to creating the app. When the first version of the app was ready, we went live with MonSchool. Then a couple of months down the line, we decided to use the same app to launch Frappe School for training our users and our employees. And once these two instances were launched and live, we realized that the app is generic enough and can be used by other organizations as well for their own learning management system. That is when the app got its independent identity as Frappe LMS. Now, that was all about the introduction. This is the agenda for today's webinar. I'll first be giving you guys a live demo of how you can create a course on Frappe LMS. Then I'll be showcasing some other features of the app. Then we'll check out how you guys can go on installing the application. Then what future plans we have for the app. And at the end, a few members from the Frappe School and MonSchool team will be sharing their experience with it. And at the very end, there'll be a Q&A. Let's get started with the live demo. So here I have a very fresh instance of Frappe LMS setup. this is because I have not created any courses yet. This is what it looks like right now. But when there'll be courses, it will look like this. So let's assume that I'm the head of the learning and development department of my company, and my company has decided that in the coming months it will be hiring a lot of people in the e-commerce department, and they've given me a task to train all of these new hires. Now, if I go on doing this process manually each and every time, it will be a lot cumbersome for me and it would be a lot of repetitive effort. And so, what I do is I decide to automate this. I sit together with a few people of the e commerce department. We discuss their systems and processes. We collect all of the learning material and we combine them and put them together in an orderly manner. And we realize that the content is good enough to be a course. And we decide to upload it on our internal learning management system. And that's my task. So if that internal learning management system is, say, Frappe LMS, then how will I go on with it? So uh, this is what the screen looks like when I set it up. And then there's this section at the top, the onboarding section. It lists down all of the steps that I need to complete in order to get ready with my very first course. So if I'm not aware of the system, I can go on following these steps to get ready with my course. If I'm already aware of the system, I can just click on this button and skip it. So for now, I'm going to do that. And let's see how we can go about creating a course. To do that, all you have to do is click on the create a course button you see right here, and it will lead you to this form that you see. And I have to go on adding data to it. Let's start with that. I have to give my course a title. As I mentioned, this is for training the people who will be joining the e-commerce department, so an appropriate title. And then a short description. A one-line description that describes my course is enough. And then there'll be some tags. Now, what are tags? Tags are the one that appears on the course cards that you see here. These are some of the important course attributes that would describe my course to the users. So as I said, this is going to be on ERP Next e-commerce, which means that ERP Next is of importance for this course. So that can be one of my keywords. And then in the next keyword, maybe I can describe the difficulty level. According to me, this course is good enough for beginners, so I can add that as a keyword. And then comes the preview video. So what is a preview video? The video that appears at the top right corner on the course details page, and that gives a brief idea to my users about the course is the preview video. You can keep it as short as 1 to 2 minutes, but there's no default restriction by the system. Now, how do you add a preview video to your course? Just a minute. All you have to do is ensure that your video is uploaded on YouTube, and you can keep it unlisted if you want. And all you have to do is click on the share icon. It gives you this URL, and all you need is the last portion of this URL. I copy that, I come back to my form, and I paste it here. And that's it. That's my preview video. And next comes the image. I want to show an image. Where will that image appear? The one that you saw on all of the course cards. That will be the image. I come back. I have one image in my local system. I'll select one from there. I upload the image. And then there are some course level settings. One of them is published. It's very clear from the name itself. If I want to publish my course or I want to be visible on the website, then I'll enable this option. And the second is upcoming, which means that if my course is not live yet, it's a work in progress, but I still want to show to my users that it will be available in a few days, then I'll check this option as well. So for this course, I'm enabling both of the options. And then comes the description. So I'll copy the description from here. And for the description, I can be as detailed as I want, adding all of the information about my course that I want. Once all of these details are entered, I will save my course. And my course is saved. As you can see at the bottom now, there is this new section wherein I can go on add chapters to my course. I can go back to the course and see what it looks like so far. This is what my course will look to the users. And as you can see, all the information that we added, the tags, title, introduction, the preview video, everything is visible. Plus, it shows my user as the instructor of this course. Now, let's edit our course again and add a chapter. But before that, I want you to look at this diagram. This diagram describes the hierarchy that the LMS app follows. There'll be a course, and then courses have chapters, and chapters have lessons. All of the important content of your course will reside in the lesson, and chapters are used to group similar lessons together. What it means is that if my lesson 1 and lesson 2 are interlinked to each other, I can put them together in chapter 1. And if my next chapter is unrelated, then I can create a new chapter for it. Let's add our very first chapter. We'll need a title for it. And then a short description. A one-line description is enough, and then I'll save it. Once I save it, I can see a button to add a new lesson, which then takes me to a new page. This is where I can add a lesson to my course. Now, lessons in Frappe LMS can be of various forms. It can be text content, it can be video, it can be a quiz, an assignment. In this webinar, I'll be showing you how to add all of these to your lesson. Now, let's say for my very first lesson, I want there to be a YouTube video and some text content. How will I go on doing this? Let's first add a title. And then this is the field where I can add my YouTube video ID. To get the YouTube video ID, the process is same as what I described for the preview video. You have your video uploaded on YouTube, click on the share icon and get the last parameter of the URL that it provides. For this lesson, I already have that ID with me. I'll just copy that and paste it here. And then the text content. So I copy the content and I paste it here too. For the text content, you can put in normal English text. And if you're aware of Markdown syntax, you can use that too. Markdown is very simple. If you're not aware of it, it just takes half an hour to learn. Then coming at the bottom, there's this checkbox, show preview of this lesson to guest user, which means that if a user comes to my course and that user is either not logged in, or maybe that user is not logged in but not enrolled for my course, and if I enable this option, the preview of this lesson would still be available to them, which means that they'll be able to see it. I can use it as a way to give them an idea of my course. And since this is the very first lesson, I'll enable preview for this lesson. That is all I want for my very first lesson. I'll then save it. And once I save it, this is what my lesson will look like to my users. I can click on this button to edit the lesson once again, or I can just simply go back to the lesson. And if I come back to my course, I can now see that in the course content section, my lesson is visible. Let us edit the course again and add another lesson. I'll add a new lesson in the same chapter. Now this time, again, for this new lesson, I want a video and some text content. But this time my video is not on YouTube. Let's say my video is on the local machine, on my laptop. How will we do that? Let's start by giving the lesson a title. And then let's add the video. So you see this upload attachments button at the end. And then there's this, it shows 0 attachments. I click on the button. I go to my local machine and select the video that I want, and I'll upload it. And now you can see that it shows one attachment. I'll have to copy this link, and in the body field, I'll paste it. And then I want some text content. So I'll copy the content. I paste that too. Now let's say I want to add an image as well to my lesson. I'll use the same upload attachment option. Select the image that I want, and I upload it. It says 2 attachments now. I'll copy the link. I can paste it anywhere in the lesson I want. Let's say I want it in the middle. I'll paste it there. Yeah, that's all I need for my second lesson. This time I'm not enabling a preview for this lesson. I'll save my lesson. And this is what my lesson looks like. And as you can see, there's this note on the top that says that this lesson is not available for preview. As you're the instructor of the course, only you can see it. This indicates that I had not enabled the preview. And if I come back to my course, I can see that the second lesson is also visible. Now, this was all from the instructor's perspective, the course creator's perspective. How will all of this look like from a student's perspective? So I have this other browser where I have logged in as a student. And as you can see in this upcoming tab, I can see the course that I have created. And since I have not made this live, it's appearing in the upcoming section. I can click on it, and you can see that the student is also able to see the content of the course. There's no option to enroll for the course because I have not made the course live yet. Let's come back to the instructor's view, and I'll edit the course. Let's make our course live. To do that, all I have to do is uncheck this upcoming option, and I'll save my course. And if I come back to the student's view, I can see, just a minute, the course is now live and there's no course in the upcoming section anymore. The count indicates that. And I can click on it and check out the content. I can click on the Start Learning button, and I can check out the lessons as well. Click on the next to see the next lesson. Coming back to the instructor's view, let's say I want to evaluate my students in some way. How will I do that? Let's add a new chapter to the course. I'll call this evaluation. I'll skip the description this time because it's not mandatory. And then I'll add a new lesson to it. I can call it, let's say, evaluation 1. And let's say I want to add a quiz here. How will I do that? Let me start by adding some basic introductory text. I'll save my course lesson. This is what it looks like so far. I'll come back to the lesson and edit it again. And to create a quiz, all I have to do is click on the Create Quiz button from the lesson itself. It takes me to the quiz list, and it shows nothing here because I haven't created any quiz yet, but it lists down all of the courses that I, as an instructor, have created. To create a new quiz, all I have to do is click on the Add Quiz button, and then as you can see here, I can add the title of the quiz and add all of the questions that I want. Let's add the content. I give my quiz a title, and here I can add the questions. A question can have minimum 2 and maximum 4 options. And besides each option, if that particular option is the correct option, I can just check that. Also, I can provide an explanation for each of the option, which means that if I can indicate to my users why this option was the correct option or why this was not the correct option. So let's add the options. Yeah, I have added the options and this is the right answer. So I mark that as is correct. To add a new question, all you have to do is click on the new question button. Now, a question can have more than one correct answer as well. We will see that in this question. I enter the question and I add the options. For this question, both the first and the second option are correct. I'll mark them as correct. And for now, I think 2 questions are enough. So I'll save the quiz. And as you can see, my quiz now appears in the list. All I have to now do is copy the quiz ID from this button. I click on it and it copies the quiz ID. And then to add it to my course, I'll just go back to my course, edit my course, visit the lesson that I want this quiz to be in. And then you see this quiz ID field. All I have to do is paste that ID here. And that is all. I save this. And this is what it would look like. As you can see, it shows the quiz title and that this quiz contains 2 questions and a button to start the quiz. Let's see this from the perspective of a student. Coming back to the tab where I was signed in as a student, I'll refresh the page and I can see that there's a new lesson called Evaluation 1 and I can see the quiz. I click on Start the quiz and it shows me the very first question. And I can see that it shows choose one answer. I can go through the question, select an answer, and then immediately verify if that was the right answer or not. It's indicated by the green checkbox. And then I can move on to the next question. This time, since there are more than one correct answer, it says choose all answers that apply. So let me select the wrong answer this time. I check it and it shows that one of the options that I selected was incorrect and what was actually meant to be the correct one. And once I've gone through all of the questions, all I have to do is submit and it shows me the score. Now, coming back to the instructor view, we've seen how to add a quiz. Let's see how we can add an assignment. Let's edit the course. I add a new lesson to it and I'll give it a title and I'll add some introductory text. And then I'll have my quiz assignment question. I copy the question and you see this assignment question field. I paste the question there and then I have to select the file type which would indicate in which format I want my students to submit the assignment. I want them to submit this assignment in the form of a document, so I select that and then I'll save it. And my assignment is ready. Coming back to the students view, I can see that there's a new lesson and it's an assignment. I read the question and I see that only file of type document will be accepted. So I do the assignment in a document, get my document ready on my local machine. And now as a student, it's time for me to submit the assignment. All I do is click on the browse button and find a document to submit for this. And I click on open and you see the file is ready and I submit that and my assignment has been submitted. So yeah, that was all on how you can go about creating a course on Frappe LMS. And so this is the Frappe Schools dashboard. Once all of the courses are ready, this is what a student dashboard would look like. It would list down all of the courses that are live, upcoming, the courses that they have enrolled themselves into. And if I'm a student of a course, then I also have the option to provide a review for that course. So once I review the course, a list of reviews would be visible at the end of each course. This would provide a sort of a feedback to the course instructors as to what right actions they did and where they went wrong. And then below each lesson, there's a section where students can ask questions to the instructor. So if I come up to the lesson and I'm a student and I have some queries about the lesson, then I can use that section to ask my questions. So if you see this lesson, at the very end of it, there's this section for questions. There's this list of questions. So to ask a new question, I can just click on this. Or if someone has asked a question and I'm interested to know the answer, I can click on it and it shows me a thread of the discussion that happened for it. If I have some suggestions to provide to this user asking the question, I can do so through this text field as well. Instructors can also interact with their students through this discussion section. Yeah, that was all about courses. And now there's this other feature in Frappe LMS that's called classes. So just a minute. To add a class, all moderators can create a new class, and to add a class, all they have to do is visit the classes page. It lists down all of the classes that have been created so far. And what is a class in terms of Frappe LMS? A class is a group of students taking the same set of courses at the same time. And to create a new class, all a moderator has to do is click on the create class button, and from here they can provide a title to their class. And then they'll have to select a start date and an end date. And I can provide a description if I want to, but it's optional. And then I'll save the class. And as you can see, my class is ready. And now I'll have to add courses and students to my class. So I can select as many courses as I want. Let's say for this class, I just am interested in one course. And then from the students tab, I can add students to my class. I'll have to enter their email addresses. I can add as many students as I want. And once I've added my students, I can delete them if I want to. It shows me their last activity date and time. I can then click on individual students and check out their progress. So if I have a list of students, a list of courses selected for this class, it will show me that list. Plus, it shows besides each course the progress that the student has made for that course. For example, the student has completed the course 100%, so it shows that. And then below that, below each course, it would list down the type of activities that were involved in this course. So for example, if there are any quizzes and assignments in the course, it would show that list to me. As you can see, the student has attempted both the quiz and the assignment. So this is their score that they got from the quiz, and this is their assignment. As you can see, the status shows not graded, which means I can click on the assignment. I can see the details here. I can open the attachment and it would download. Since it was a document, it downloaded that for me. I can open that document, I can check it out, and then accordingly I can decide if the student passes the assignment or not. I can put my results in there, add a comment if I want to, and I'll save it. And if I come back, as you can see, the status has changed to pass. That is how classes work in Frappe LMS. There's also a whole new evaluation workflow, which I can do through this button, but I'll not be covering that in this webinar. You can check out the documentation to know the details. And then coming to other features, there's a statistics dashboard that Frappe LMS provides. This dashboard is visible to all kinds of users on LMS, and it shows important numbers and figures just at a glance. So as you can see, this is the Frappe Schools dashboard, by the way. It shows the number of courses that are published, the number of signups that have happened on the platform, the enrollment count, and then there are graphs at the bottom showing the daily count of all these activities. All I have to do is hover on them and get the data. Then there's a job board. If enabled through job settings, any kind of users can enter job applications, and any kind of users can check out these job postings and apply for the jobs. All they have to do is click on the job that they're interested in, check out the details, and if they like it, they can apply for the same. The application process is not a part of the LMS app, but you can attach a link to any external form or system through which you're accepting applications. There's a people's page which lists down all of the users that have signed up on the platform. And if there's a user who's completely entered their profile information, then you can click on that user and check out their profile details. There are, apart from these, a few features that are not available on the web portal of Frappe LMS as of now, but are available through the backend. I'll show that to you. Just a minute. There's this LMS settings page, which has all of the settings. For example, if you want to make Frappe LMS as the default view on your website, you can check this. There's this one which sends calendar invite for evaluation, and there are some others as well. Let's see if you want to say enable certification. How will you do that from the backend? All you have to do is visit the LMS course doc type, select the course for which you want to enable certification. Just a minute. And then scroll down to the bottom. You see this enable certification option. You check that, keep this as it is, and you can set an expiry if there is an expiry. Else, if there is no expiry, just leave it as it is. And you save the course. What will happen after this is that this will create certifications on course completion, which means that if a user completes 100% of the course, at the end, they will by default get a get certificate link. Clicking on that will generate the certificate by default without the involvement of an instructor, direct certification on completion. But if you don't want a certificate this way, if you have an offline evaluation process and you want to provide a certificate only to those users who complete the evaluation, then you don't have to do this. All you have to do is maybe just visit the LMS certificate doc type, click on add LMS certificate, select the course for which you want the certificate, select the user to which you are providing the certificate to, what's the issue date, you select that. If there is an expiry date, you can select that, but that's not mandatory. And you save the certificate, and you can just click on see on website and it will show the certificate to you. The logo does not show up because I haven't added a logo to my site yet, but this is what the default template would look like. There's a way you can customize the way your certificate looks, but I'm not covering that in this webinar. You can check out the documentation for the same. Apart from that, as I mentioned, that Frappe LMS is built on Frappe framework. So all of the built-in functionalities of the framework comes in by default with it, which means that the entire website module that Frappe framework has, you can utilize that on your LMS, and you can create a home page, customize it as you like. This is the homepage of Frappe School. None of this is by default hard coded. We made this page as per our wishes. You can too create a web page that will be the home page of your website and add as many sections to it as you want. And website module also comes along with a thing called website theme. This is the standard default theme as per the design systems of our company. But if you want, you can customize the theme based on whatever standards your company follows. Yep. I think that was all about the major features that I wanted to discuss. Coming back to my presentation, we've covered the demo. Talking about installation, there are two major installation steps that are followed in the community. One is that the app is open source and available on GitHub. So you can visit the GitHub repository. The README down below describes the installation steps in detail. If you're already a part of the Frappe ecosystem, you might already be aware of it. All you need is you have to install the Frappe bench on your local machine first, and then clone the app and then install the app on your site. Also, if you are a supporter of open source software, and then you can show your love to Frappe LMS by visiting the repository and adding a star to it. The other method is if you have an account on Frappe Cloud, then all you have to do is visit the Frappe Cloud marketplace and the app is listed there. You can click on it, check out the details and plans, and you can then directly install the app on your site. Coming to our future plans.
Sorry for interrupting, but based on the demo, there are a couple of questions that we have received. It would be good if you could answer it right now because people were talking.
Sure. Okay. Let me see. It's from the Q&A section, right?
Yes, it's there in the Q&A section.
Yes. So Salim Mustafa asked if LMS version 13 and LMS version 14 are the same, or has version 13 been removed? There is LMS version 13, but it's based on the very old version. So what I do is whenever I add a new feature, I add it always to the latest version. So if you want to have all of the new features, you'll have to be on the latest version. Is there a payment gateway option for LMS to pay for courses? We don't have that right now. There is a GitHub issue created on the Frappe LMS repository. If you're interested in this feature, add a comment to it. If I get enough requests, I will work on it. Where are the course attachments stored? How much storage do I have available? Attachments usually don't take much storage. And all of the things that I showed, quiz submission or assignment submission, there are respective doc types for it in the backend or from the class. So if you're creating a class and you want to check out the assignments that your students submit, you can check out from the class page itself. If you don't want to follow the concept of the class, you can just directly visit the backend. From the documentation, you'll get the name of the respective doc types and check out it from there. Can LMS handle SCORM content as of now? Not right now, but this is in discussion. We have been discussing this internally and we'll let you know if we make any advancements in there. Is it possible to get user access to this LMS demo site instance at the end of the presentation? Right now, I haven't given access to it to anyone, but yeah, I can definitely. What I can do is maybe after the webinar, I can post about the details of this instance on the discuss forum that we have, discuss.frappe.io. So keep on checking that out. I'll post it by the end of today, maybe. We can also have the quiz field as a link field in the course doc type so that we don't have to copy paste the quiz ID. We can simply select. Yeah, but that would create that it's not directly attached to the quiz, it is attached to the lesson. And anyway, whatever you do, you keep it a link field, or it is a link field in short, but you have to go back and attach it. That's the thing. Are there any ways to change the look and feel of the LMS? I mentioned that we have this website theme doc type available in Frappe framework. So you can try and use that. You can't change the layout as such, but you can, change the colors, the primary colors, etc. if you want to. Can you show from when a student enrolls and when the student gets approved to payment of a course? As I said, course payment is still not available on Frappe LMS, but if you're interested, then you can reach out to us on the GitHub issue. How does LMS tie into the education module? Both of the app are completely unrelated, but you can have them installed on the same site and they will work, but they are completely unrelated. How to create, I can't read that.
It's
Anupama, can
sorry, how to create a group of students for the same class.
okay, a group of students for the same class. So I showed the student panel. Just a second, coming back to it. This was the class page that I showed. All you have to do is in the students section, add the students that you want. There's no bulk addition as such, but we will be adding that feature very soon. So any student that you want for the class, you just add it here. Is it possible to enable self-enrollment for non-registered people? Is it possible to enable the certification of completion? I think I showed certification of completion from the LMS course doc type. You just have to enable certification from there and enable self-enrollment for, I don't know what you mean by that. By self-enroll, what you can do, the simplest means of self-enrollment in LMS is that you can have your users sign up on the system, and then they'll have to just visit the course and click on the button and enroll themselves. That's what self-enrollment is. If you meant something else, maybe please clarify that. Can I create the quiz and assignment for particular lesson so that I can track quizzes and assignment for that lesson, or I need to create the new lesson for this? So for my course, I created a quiz in a separate lesson and an assignment in a separate lesson. But you don't have to create a new lesson. You can have your quiz and assignment in the same lesson if you want. You can have video quiz, text content, all of that in the same lesson. But just there's one restriction is that there can be only one quiz or one assignment in each lesson. Second is
So the next is basically the Ashisha's question. The question was the UI used for course creation is not a standard doc type from Vue. Are you using same page or something else? So I answered. So that's why he is asking.
Yeah, okay. It's not from Vue.js. The app is built on vanilla JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. We can add paid courses. Okay, I think a lot of people are interested in paid courses, so we can certainly consider this as an upcoming feature. We don't have that yet, but definitely we will consider it. Can we link a course with a payment option? Yeah, again, we can't right now, but since a lot of people are requesting, we will definitely consider this. Can we track user activity? There's no, you can't track it for everyone, but the students that you're adding in a class, you can track their activity. You can track the submissions that they've made for quiz and assignment and the progress that they're making for those courses. Can we link Frappe LMS to education? You can install education and LMS in the same site. They are not linked to each other in any way. They work independent of each other. Is there a possibility to assign a course to a set of students? Yeah, that's the class feature. When I say a set of students, I mean there will be more than 100 students. So that should be some way to show a list of students. Okay. Yeah, I understand that it's difficult to add 100 students manually, and we will definitely add an option to bulk add students some way.
So Jannat, can they import the student in the class?
Not from the UI, but they can, I think, use the backend to do that. So if you're creating a class from the backend, the doc type is called as LMS class, and you can use the data import feature. But I think it would be nice to have a button here itself from the UI. For now, if you want, you can add it from the backend. Can we have SSI TLS security certificate incorporated? Not now, but we were in discussions of having some sort of verification mechanism for our certificates, but we don't have that right now. As you may already know, that the exercise doc type, yeah, that about this conflict with the healthcare app, I have already received requests about the same, and I'll be resolving that within this coming month itself. I have already made a note of it. There is an issue we are having with the report card. I will create the issue on GitHub. If we want to speed up the resolution of a bug, can we do anything to help? There's no report card as such. If I don't know if you are referring to the education app, and if you if irrespective of whether it's an education app or LMS app, if you know the basics of coding and want to help out, you can definitely create a pull request, and I or either someone from my team will review and merge it. Is the system's performance impacted by the number of users in any way? No, I don't think so. As I showed, Frappe School right now has more than 12,000 users, and we haven't faced any performance issue so far, not even once. Is Frappe planning to create a link for the CRM education and LMS module in future? What do you mean by create a link? Siley, is this clear to you?
It's basically like the earlier question that we had, education and LMS, and they even want a CRM module to link into it. So right now, the only workaround is you have to install ERP Next app and the Frappe LMS app, and education is a separate app. That is the only way. There is no link as such, but if you have any specific requirement, then you can maybe share and we can think of it.
Yeah, right. So you can install these apps on top of each other. They work independently. Are there any features or roadmap for live chat or online video class? Yeah, as I said, I was about to show that itself. So for live, we do have live classes planned, and I think that will be one of the first features that I'll be working on next. So the way we plan to do live classes, I've created a GitHub issue on the repository. You can check out, I have described what we plan to do with it. It's going to be here, right here on the class page itself, which means there will be a live class tab, and moderators or instructors will be able to visit that tab and create a new class. And students who belong to that class will be able to see the upcoming classes and join them. If you have any suggestions about this feature, you can visit that GitHub issue. Maybe someone from my team can share the link, and you can add your suggestions as comments, and we can discuss it further there. Can I set the quiz so that if the answer is wrong, the student cannot see which answer would be correct? The student has to think again. We don't have this right now, but this is also in one of our future plans, that we want to enhance the way more the quizzes are in Frappe LMS. So maybe we can consider this too. The next is, this would enable us to map the entire life cycle for. Is this a related question? We are currently mapping leads on CRM and then bringing them into the education to collect payment and allocate them a program in a batch. Subsequently, they would move to the LMS to access the course. So what I don't think there should be much of a problem is that you should have all of the apps installed on the same site, which means that the same user will exist in your site, which means that your lead, the user that gets created for that lead, that same user can access the courses on LMS. I think you can go on with the flow that you've described and you shouldn't face any problem. But if you do, you can reach out to us on GitHub. How we can access the documents that uploaded by the student, either through class, if you're using a class, or there's a doc type called as lesson assignments in the backend. You can check it out from there. Thanks, Salim, Mustafa, and Ashisha. Is there some way by which we can export the quiz in a format similar to the question paper? There's no special feature as such, but maybe you can try the data export feature of our framework itself. Try that out and it should give you an Excel or CSV file. Suppose I can add 100 questions, but it is time consuming process. How do I add multiple questions? Again, there's no bulk import feature from the UI as such, but you can use the data import feature from the backend. I think people already use it. I have heard of someone who uses it that way. So you can use the data import feature from our framework. Does Frappe LMS provide API integrations to external systems? We haven't done that so far. I think the live class feature that we'll be working on would be the first external integration. We'll be having a Zoom integration for that. So I think that would be the first integration that we'll have on Frappe LMS. Any other questions? I don't think there is.
Yeah, this was the last one. You could go
I think
ahead
I'll come back to my presentation. Yeah, as I said, this was a comprehensive list that I had prepared so far based on whatever I receive requests from the community. We want to improve the way we have assignments and evaluations in the system. So better ways to add assignment questions, better ways, more ways to submit assignments, more ways to work with quizzes, maybe an input box wherein users can type their responses. And as I mentioned, live classes. For live classes, I think I also mentioned this. There's a GitHub issue created on the repository. Please enter any suggestions that you have in the comments and we can discuss that further. Not just for this, if you have any feature requests or any bugs, keep on reporting them on our repository. That's the place we pick requests from and we can take the discussions on these further. That is all from my side. Are there any questions, or maybe there's OneSCOM is a standard in e-learning? Yeah, we are aware of that, and I think we are already in discussions of that. Whenever we make a concrete plan for it, I will be definitely uploading our plans on GitHub. So keep checking out the repository. That is all from my side. And I think now we have Saili, who's a training specialist for Frappe School, and she has been working with the Frappe LMS app since we launched Frappe School in September 2021. So I think she'd like to share a few words about her experience on the same. Over to you, Saili.
Okay, thank you, Jannat. Hi, everyone. So Jannat has already given you the demo of Frappe LMS, how easy to use it is, like from creating the courses to create the certification. So I have been using Frappe School. It's basically, it is based on Frappe LMS only. So for specifically for certification. So we have a certification batches on each and every month for ERP Next certification and Frappe framework certification. So from creating batches to training registrations and like directly create the certification for all the users. And even we are now planning to automate the evaluation process. So if you're looking for a product, let's say from like creating courses to have a certification, so it has all features that you're looking for. And even we have a Telegram group in which you can like basically you can start exploring the Frappe LMS by using by creating a demo site. Of course, Jannat will share the details on the Discuss forum, but you can directly visit the Frappe LMS site and you can directly create a demo instance over there and you can try and explore that. And if you face any issues and if you are looking for any feature request or anything, you can directly connect with our team on the Telegram group. I think Jannat or Anupama can share the Telegram group in the chat box, in which you can directly discuss with Jannat or the Frappe team about the features and the issues that you're facing up. So yeah, as I said, it is a great tool that we have been working on specifically for the colleges, for the coaching institute, even for the we are using as a corporate. So you can use it for like managing your content. You can publish online and you can manage it at the back end as well. So it is a great tool that we have been using, and we are also like enhancing the on the product side as well. So yeah, that's it from me. Thank you, Jannat, and thank you, team. So I think the chat section that you have shared, na Jannat, it is not visible for everyone. So maybe
I have made it available for everyone so people can have a look at it.
Okay, cool. Okay.
And also, I invited Tushar Sadhwani, who is at Deep Source right now. Hey, Tushar, you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, yeah. So Tushar right now, he is working at Deep Source. And to talk about Deep Source product, it's something like Grammarly for codes. And he is working for the Python analyzer over there. And why he is here is because like he is really into the language Python, and he also has a course listed in Mon School, which is built on Frappe LMS. So yeah, Tushar, you could take the space and talk about your experience building up the course and the course itself, and anything else that you would want to add.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so as mentioned, so I authored the course called MyPy Primer on the Mon School, which is built on the Frappe LMS framework. And so Mon School has a bunch of like interactive uh, the code like software courses, and like so what it gives you is that like with like the code itself, like you can like change the code and like to run it live and like see its output, like so it's like very useful for the students to be able to like make tweaks to like the thing that you're working with to get a deeper understanding. Now the thing with my course was that like not only like that you have to like run the code to understand it, but you also have to validate it. And so this like one feature like had to be added just like for my course. And like so this like button has to be present on every single the code block, the specifically of the for my course. And like the button talks to a completely separate backend and like gives a completely different output. And like I was working with the Frappe team with this, and like they were able to add this like very very quickly, like I believe within like 1 or 2 days. And like they said that the integration of this was like really simple. So like it was great to see that not only like there's like the framework like very easy to work with for like the course writers, but it's like very like simple and flexible for like the engineer that's making the website as well. And yeah, the entire course was written in Markdown, which was like very like simple to integrate. And yeah, overall it was a great experience like working with the framework. It was like very like friendly and like very flexible. So yeah, that's pretty much my experience with the framework.
Thank you, Tushar. Thanks for taking time and coming here and talk about your experience working on Frappe, on building the course on Frappe LMS basically. And yeah, we would suggest you put in more courses as you go ahead, and ask your friends as well to put it over there, so that we have that great community still holding up for in Force United to go about with it. So yeah, thanks for taking up time and coming here. And I guess we got a couple of more questions. If Jannat would want to take it up.
Yeah, sure. I think someone's asking if there's, I don't think there's any other webinar after this, right?
Okay, so about webinars, we do webinars on a monthly basis, and we are taking up products specifically. And this month was for Frappe LMS. Next month probably would be for Frappe Desk. So yeah, when we decide on a date, we will put it out on a social media, and you guys could register and attend it when we go about and do that webinar.
Yeah. And there's this other question. Someone says that I'm trying to create a self-registration portal for vendors and suppliers. So if that portal is going to be a learning management system, you can go about with this app. I don't think there should be any problem. You can use Frappe LMS.
Meanwhile, also, like if you guys have any questions, you could still put it out there. And if not, and if you're planning to go about and try Frappe LMS for yourself and get stuck anywhere or something, you could definitely connect with Jannat or someone from the Frappe engineering team. And yeah, people would definitely be really happy to help you guys out. So, yeah. There are a couple of more questions.
Yeah, just checking it out. 1 second.
No, I don't think so. There are any questions.
I think there's one asking, do you have options of writing the code in other languages and get output validation? So what Tushar showed for Mon School was a component specifically built for Mon School. If you're a developer, you can try building a component like that and maybe contribute to the LMS app itself. But we don't have specifically another component. To know the details, I think there's this library called Live Code Editor that comes under FOSS United and is open source and was volunteered by our community members itself from FOSS United. Maybe you can go check that out.
So one question is
Frappe
on
developer
Frappe
course.
developer
Yeah,
course.
Saili can answer that.
Yeah, we are planning at the end of March, most probably in the USA time zone. So we'll of course update the schedule and we'll share the newsletter once we have the final date and time. Anupama, you are on mute.
Sorry. Okay, so I was talking about like to sum the entire webinar up. I feel that it was a good demo where a lot of people got insights into how to go about and use the platform itself and set their courses up. I think this have definitely answered a lot of questions that people had in mind. And thanks to Tushar for coming up here and taking up time and talk about his experience, and also Sayali, who's been using Frappe School for quite long, and let us know about it. And also thanks for participating in the polls and making it interactive, and the Q&A session. We had a lot of questions, which is like a good sign for the app. And definitely we've gotten quite a few of pointers that Jannat might have gotten, which probably would help her go about and make the product even better. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining the call. It was really great to see Jannat here and talk about Frappe LMS. Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks to everyone for joining, and thanks Anupama for all the coordination and conducting this whole webinar. And thanks to Saili and Tushar for sharing their words with all of us.